And
Are you looking it up, Waz?
I was, but then I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, I love those fleeting moments of, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this no more.
So question for you guys: if somebody told me I look like Mark Cuban, is that a positive or a negative?
That mean you look like money, bro. I take it as a positive.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. It was
Was it Nicky Madman who told you?
no.
Yeah, I don't
At
know.
least I got you. You kind of look like Mark Cuban, lol, as a message. I don't take that as a positive.
Why they gotta hit you with that lull?
Because it was a
No
girl.
idea.
Is that a positive? Mark Cuban isn't ugly, so yeah, it is a positive. I would take as far as that.
You're very
goes.
slow in response there, Mike.
I'm just trying to think about it because it's hard for me to judge how guys look. But at the age of that Mark is at, he's almost 60. He still look about 40. So that's pretty good.
Is he even Cuban though?
Are you a foster child? Like, I'm confused. Like
for real though?
No, he ain't fucking Cuban. Oh man. Are you calling him a perpetrator?
A perpetrator?
Yeah, like how dare you be named Mark Cuban if you're not Cuban? Like, you want him to change his name?
Yeah,
I don't think that was the right word, Mike. I think you mean appropriation or something. Not.
Yeah, he's a culture vulture.
What'd I say?
You said perpetrator.
Yeah, you perpetrating. That ain't your set, bro.
Mike.
Oh my god. Okay, I see what type of podcast we about to have today. Jake just put his dirty ass foot up on that. Yeah, on the screen.
We're gonna have a guest today.
Okay, cool. I'm so I don't know where to start, where to go. Shall I just introduce the podcast? This is the No Consensus podcast, I guess. I'm Michael Jackson, aka Mike Jack, aka Thriller, aka Watch Me Beat It, aka The Smooth Criminal, aka The Man in the Mirror, aka Mr. Human Nature, aka Do You Remember the Time That I Fucked Your Wife, aka Rock Your World, and aka Off the Wall. And then to my right is Jake, the Lumberjack Foster, aka Pancake Cuz, aka Red Beard Shoddy, aka White Tea Ho. What's the name of the dudes who made Yuck in My White Tea? I can't them franchise boys. Aka Soldier Boy. And then below me is John, aka Mark Cuban, aka Lol God, aka Raid Master, and we talking about wild raids and panty raids, aka the white Keanu
I've only done
Reeves.
one of those because only one of those is legal.
AKA the white Keanu Reeves, and
AKA Mr. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta protect my ass sometimes.
And this is a No Consensus podcast. Cheers, boys. I've been drinking water all day, so I feel good about my choice of orange juice and vodka.
Good for you, Mike.
Thank you, buddy.
Is that one of those, what do they call it, a flatliner?
I don't know what that means.
Orange juice and vodka, what do they call that?
Screwdriver.
Corkscrew?
Yes.
Screw you. Nice.
I actually heard someone the other day calling screwdrivers corkscrews. I'm like, what the hell's
you
wrong
talking
with
about
you?
real screwdrivers?
No.
Like the drink. Okay.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with the kids these days?
It was a young boy.
I mean, not that young enough for that. Like 24, 26.
Oh yeah, you should. Your bar
Like,
days, you and your peak bar days. You're supposed to know the name of these drinks, bro.
he's a simple one though. This boy.
Yeah, vodka, Red Bull type of guy, Jack and Coke boy.
No,
So,
he's a get crunk off of Reds.
Oh no, 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 no,
a
no,
corkscrew is a
no.
drink.
Hmm.
A corkscrew is a drink, and it sounds pretty gross. It's lime, peach schnapps, dry vermouth, and a lemon spiral.
Where's the liquor?
A little bit of rum and schnapps and vermouth.
That shit sounds nasty. You are not lying.
No, thank you.
Look at the drink too. God damn, that looked like a stomach ache. This is why I don't drink hard ciders though, bro. Like, how many of these can you drink to actually get a buzz? And then by the time you get one, my stomach's hurting, dog. Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
That's also why I don't like when rappers start talking about champagne, like up in the club, getting drunk off champagne. Like, who gets drunk off of champagne? Like, how soft are you, bro? And then these bottles be costing a lot of money. So, like, if I buy a bottle of champagne for $1,000, I'm not sharing. I'm sorry. I don't care
how much?
They'd be like $1,000 bottles of champagne, bro.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's just irresponsible.
Irresponsible, bro. And they're spilling half of it because they pop the cork and then get to splashing it around. Like, no, thank you, bro. Yeah, when I get famous, yeah, I'm doing everything gonna look rich, but when you look closely, you gonna know, like, oh yeah, that was some cheap shit that boy got. I'm still buying chains off Amazon. I'm going in there with $12 bottles of champagne. I'm bringing my own champagne for sure. $12 bottles out the liquor
See what
store.
you should do with the chains. You should just buy a 3D printer, and then you could print chains off.
3D print the chains? Can you do color 3D print?
There's metal 3D printing now.
Okay.
It's expensive.
But I'm saying is could you well, if I'm rich, I don't care how expensive, I guess. But if it's so, could I do like a metal gold chain, or would it just come out metal and I would have to paint it gold?
I don't think gold works with the metal 3D printing yet. I think it's mostly copper and aluminum, if I remember correctly. Okay. But you could paint them gold or.
You should just do the plastic though.
That's what I'm saying. I would do the plastic too. You can have that bitch. I got 20 more at the crib.
Pull another one out your pocket.
I give him another one. Take this for your boy too, bro. Obviously you taking this for a reason.
Bye, Jake.
Bye, Jake. Oh well, hey Oz, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Same. Been a long day.
I got into some COD zombie killing.
Oh, on Black Ops or
whatever the latest one is.
Like Cold War?
Yeah.
You got it on the PC?
Yep. I managed to find one of those video cards for my brother.
Hey.
And it came free with it. Nice. So he already had it. So he and I have been playing a couple days.
It's cross-play, so I'll play with y'all whenever you get on. I just gonna need your Activision name.
You like zombies?
Yeah, I get in on the zombies. I'm more of a multiplayer and Warzone dude, but I'll play zombies just to take a break from that shit. I'm only alright at it. I'm still trying to learn the strategies. Are you still just running around, or you got the strategies down?
I'm still like leveling up my weapons and stuff. So I've got my like LMG up to level 30. So I'm just grinding right now, grinding up to everything.
I feel you. Level up your knife. That knife will get you probably up to like zombie level 15, bro.
But that is no fun.
No, it is.
I can have an LMG. Where I'm just pouring
you need to because you get more points for killing dudes with knives, and now you can. And you're not supposed to be using them. Actually, I don't know. I guess you can. You can upgrade your weapons and shit. I won't stick on zombies. We'll talk about this after the podcast. Where'd you go, Jake?
The door was open, so I went to close it, which meant I had to go ahead and get the cat on out of here. So
Shooing away pussy. That's how much you getting, huh? I feel you. Speaking of pussy, uh, how's the attempts to get young Foster in this world?
that's one hell of a segue. Um,
That was a very interesting ordering of words.
yeah. So what y'all think of this impeachment that just happened, huh?
You don't want to talk about it? I got you. Shout outs to my boy Trump getting that Tommy two time. Like, what's going on here, y'all? In order to get impeached, you gotta go. It gotta go through the House and the Senate, though, right?
Well, no. It just goes through the House for impeachment, if I remember correctly, but then he gets tried by the Senate, and that's where like the removal or not happens.
Okay, so that's where it got last time, right?
Yeah.
And then they decided not to remove, and now this
Yeah.
time, and it'll probably be different results. Or, well, hold on, because the Democrats took over, right? But they don't start their terms until after this impeachment trial would happen, probably, or what? What's the deal with this?
Well, he had half of the government backing him last time. I don't think he has half the government backing him this time. So
Yeah, so it's interesting if I remember. So there's a number of different things. Like if I remember correctly, if he gets removed, then that means that he loses because as president you have like salary, like lifetime salary,
That security
lifetime,
detail.
yeah, lifetime insurance, and then lifetime Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you get removed, you'll lose those three, but he could still go ahead and run again in 2024. But they could go ahead and bring up like a separate sort of thing after removing him in order to bar him from rerunning again.
Okay. But even with you rerunning again, like people who lose elections don't never rerun after that. Like once you get to that presidential election and you lose, people are not coming back to rerun. So you just like, fuck that. I need my extra foe. Like, like you, and even if that's the case, like, why would you even want to put yourself through this shit again? I don't know.
I mean, Trump, because of Trump's ego.
Yeah, I know.
But what was it here? Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens because, like, it made sense before if you were Republican to go ahead and back Trump for a couple of reasons. Well, for one, I can't. No, it had to have happened last year, right? Was it 2018 or 2019? Yeah.
19.
Okay. Well, so like for one, it's like you have to.
It was like
If
the end of 19, I think.
if you were a Republican and you voted to impeach him, it's like you're going ahead and signing up to like live with your ex for another year.
Right.
And then have to deal with that like hell. I don't know if you heard some of the recordings of Trump ripping that Georgia Secretary of State a new one.
Where he was calling them and telling them like, just find all we need is 11,000 votes. That recording, that was wild. That was wild. Because it is so funny how Trump just don't make sense sometimes. We had 500,000 extra votes that they didn't count. So all I need you to do is find 11,000 of them. Wait, what? What are we talking about? What? You had 500,000 and all you need is 11? I'm confused. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What was it here? So like it doesn't even matter if you're on his side or not, or what the reality is. If it's not what he likes, then you're getting your ass chewed out and shit.
Right. Before you keep going, Jake, explain what you was talking to me about staying in the office, because I thought that was the whole point of impeachment, that they get you the fuck up out of there if you get impeached.
No, because again, like impeachment is just half of the battle. That's
So
the
you
House
saying
half.
saying dudes refrain from voting on the impeachment because if it went to the Senate and then it didn't go through at the Senate, he would know like, oh, yo ass voted for me to get up out of here, and now I'm still here.
Yeah, I mean that's all public record, anyways, right?
Yep.
So, like, even if you got impeached, but you didn't get removed from office,
So
like
impeachment is just the trial portion, correct? Like getting impeached doesn't mean you're gone. Getting
correct.
impeached is like getting prosecuted.
Yeah, it's that charges have been filed and they were approved by the House to be tried by the Senate.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I was wondering. If you was one of the Republicans that voted for him to get impeached, that would mean he would go to trial, and then if y'all, I don't know, if it was more people that would say get up out of there during your trial with the Senate, he would be gone, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but hoping that that would happen,
Mm-hmm.
which it didn't look like it would happen
Yeah.
because what Mitch McConnell was in charge of the Senate there,
Speaking of fucking the Sith Lord, god damn, boy.
the
Mitch
Turtle Man.
McConnell, bro. Mitch McConnell remind me of Darth Sidious so much, dog. Like that boy is scary looking. I would never want to be in a room alone with him.
but uh, but yeah, so then you would be on his hit list, um, and
And we see what happened when people get on Trump hit list. He be
right,
firing
so
the shit out of boys.
um, my dad, you know, my dad's got like a Trump hat and everything, but it's hilarious because like he was like, you know what would be hilarious on January 20th if Biden and him they go ahead and they go up and they shake hands, and as Trump goes to walk away, Biden says, "Hey Don," and Trump turns around and he says, "You're fired." I was like, Dad, you're always trying to start trouble, aren't you?
Hell yeah. I thought he was gonna say if he walked up there and just decked his ass.
But it'd be but so now it's interesting to see what would happen now because if I remember correctly, the Democrats are in control of the Senate, so it's been passed off to them. So now what do they do? And then also, but most especially, what do the Republicans do? Because a lot of Republicans have been looking at this, especially after the Capitol Hill incident, and been saying, "Man, this is like really kind of awesome. Get rid of this guy. And we have an opportunity to kind of rebrand and sort of like purge ourselves of all this Trump nut, you know, slobbing that they've been doing." Um,
That's the part that irritates me, bro. Like, yeah, politicians are just so pussy that it's crazy to me.
mhm.
That it's we back this guy, we like this guy, this is our guy, and then the moment y'all find y'all window to strike, that's when y'all just switch y'all side. Like Ted Cruz, for example, like this man was calling your wife ugly. This man was like, bringing up all type of shit about your past, and all you did was sit there and take it, bro. First of all, you on national TV calling my wife ugly. You gonna have to see me eventually, bro. Like I don't care where it's at, because you got a fucking mail ordered bride, bro. You not about to say shit about my wife. When I see you, you getting knocked the fuck out, and I'm gonna go to jail for that. But you not only do you not do nothing, you become his best fucking friend and shit, basically. Like always
Mhm.
voting for him. And now that some shit's finally happening, he lost the election, and it's safe to talk shit about him. That's when you want to talk shit about him, and that shit just so whack to me, bro. Like either be a man or don't be a man. All of y'all some pussies, bro. Like y'all only hit people when they down and when they can't do nothing back to you. But when it really matters for you to say something and stand up for what's right, you don't do it. You wanna hide behind the shadows because you scared of getting fired. You scared of what happens if it goes to the Senate and it doesn't go through. Who gives a fuck? Do the right thing, dog. And stop being some. And that's the best way to put it. Y'all some hoes.
Mhm.
Period, dog.
Right. Yeah, and they just like to pander.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And it's unfortunate because I I have no doubts that they think that they can go ahead and just rebrand, but I'm never forgetting this.
Yeah, right.
Like, no, I remember you. Like, I remember exactly what you were about. Like, you were
Right.
about doing whatever it took to go ahead and get a vote.
Yep.
And yeah, no, that's it. No, thank you.
That's a fact, bro. Hey, Wazzy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I got some pork and like some pork cutlets. So we about to go to Wazzy kitchen corner real quick. And
All right.
is it the pork? Hold
Shake and
on.
bake.
Yeah, hold on. Let me think. It's it's two things. Okay, two things, bro. So I'm gonna start with the pork cutlets, right? Yesterday I made like a katsudon, like a Japanese. So it's like rice, fried pork, egg,
A
onions.
pork katsu is basically panko breaded
Yep,
pork cutlet, flat,
yep.
like a veal parmesan or like a chicken parmesan, but pork instead,
Yeah,
and
and
panko instead of breadcrumbs.
yep, and it slapped hard. But I'm trying to figure out. I got a bunch left now still, so I'm trying to figure out like some other ideas of what I should do with the with the pork cutlets that I got. So throw me some ideas to for what I should do next, bro.
Brown them up, throw them in a hash brown, make like a hash brown and corned beef type of flavor, but use pork cutlet. So it's like a cross between like a beef and a, I don't know how to word it. That might be good.
Hash brown, like fry it.
So like home style hash browns, not like
Okay,
McDonald's hash brown, but like home style
I feel you.
cubes of
Mm,
potato, onion, some bell pepper,
Damn,
season it up nice. What else is good with pork? Marinate it in apple juice and like maybe a rice vinegar or a like a mirin, um, and just kind of do a low and slow grill.
that sound good as hell.
you got me wanting to make some corned beef hash now, man.
Corned beef hash does go. And Shawanda made some I don't know if I said this before. Shawanda did the corned beef and cabbage in the
Mm,
slow cooker the other day, a couple weeks
Nice.
back, and that shit just it went so hard, y'all. Especially the cabbage. Like if you ain't got the cabbage right on your corned beef and cabbage, it fucked the whole joint up. So
mm-hmm.
like everything was just perfect on there. Second thing I wanted to ask you, salmon ideas, bro. I
Oh,
done fish tacos, and then you just cook the salmon. You know, you just grill it or you know, bake it, whatever. But is them the only? Every time I go online to find something, people cooking the salmon the same way. The only different thing that they do is the sauce. Like what type of sauce you putting on your salmon?
How
Um,
about, so have you heard of salt crusting?
no.
Let me see if I can find a picture. Essentially, you grill it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. Web. So one thing I've always wanted to try, but I'm not a huge fish eater,
Mm-hmm.
is salt encrusted. So you essentially get a shit ton of salt and pack it in the
Mm-hmm.
salt and bake it. The
See now
salt
that's a
acts as like
hold
a
on
heat
one
sink.
second, one second. That's like a whole fish right there, like still put
Mhm.
together and shit. We got the
still
like
put
yeah,
together.
we got like the already filleted and joint. Does this still work on that?
Uh, if you do skin side up and put like wax or parchment paper or something on the bottom, it should be
Okay,
fine.
all right.
Another is in like tamale wraps type of thing. There's you wrap it up and steam it inside of what is it? Pouch steamed fish, huish, and you essentially make it in like a pouch. These are terrible pictures. Parchment pouch. Okay, so here, so imagine you put your fish in like a campfire aluminum, but instead of a campfire and aluminum, it's parchment and fish.
That
and
look
you
crazy.
basically you wrap it up and steam it inside. And
Are they steaming them potatoes and shit in there too? And or are they just
oh yeah,
they cook
they're
it?
doing everything in there.
That shit look crazy. What type of bread is that though?
I mean the bread's not it. What bread?
Oh, I don't know. For my thing, that looked like it was sitting in like a tortilla or something.
Oh, it's they have very light parchment paper.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
When
a tortilla. All right, yeah.
when we usually cook up salmon, we do the fish tacos, um, or which we had actually just probably almost a week ago.
Them bitches go
Um,
hard though, bro.
oh yeah.
I love them.
Um, do you usually get the fillets that have the skin on one side?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love that skin.
Me too.
Julia hates
And it's
it, but
easy to
that doesn't
take
mean it's
off
more for
too.
me.
So if somebody don't like it, all right, I just cut the
Mhm,
part off for you. But I'll at least cook it while the skin's still on it, and I could take it off afterwards. Like you gonna get
mhm.
some of this skin flavor, girl. You crazy?
But, I went ahead and, I had also made some, like, blackened salmon, like Cajun blackened salmon, um,
Nice.
a few weeks ago. But a lot of the times when we have salmon, we'll go ahead and season it up, cook it in the pan, and, serve it up with rice and veggies.
Yep. That's it. Yep. That's what we doing, dog. But I just I'll go on YouTube a lot of times to get some inspiration, and Shalonda just loves salmon, and I be telling her
Uh,
like, there's other fish in the fucking sea, get something else, but she always grab a bunch of salmon, and then when you go on YouTube, like if y'all look up like salmon recipes, the first like 3 pages is all cooking the salmon the same way. The only thing that is like a
Mm,
honey glaze on this one, or in a garlic butter glaze on that one. And it's like, all right, y'all making a different sauce, but I want to figure out a different way to cook this motherfucker.
how about this
And that looked good as hell too. That's a pasta with the
salmon
rotini.
scampi? Yeah.
That shit look good as hell. Yep. And
So that
I love the noodles with the different colors too. Something about that visual that makes it appeasing. It.
wow, Mike.
feeling.
You feeling okay?
I'm tired, y'all. I've been first. So let me tell y'all something. So I've been on Indeed for the last like 8 months, applying the shit here and there, blah blah blah. Get a couple joints together and just, ain't really no bites. So I was like, Mike, before I got to the last place, right? I was using Career Builder, and that got me like 4 jobs in a row easy. I was like, all right, let's make a new Career Builder account with your new email address, and let's see what you can find. I signed up for Career Builder, y'all, and within like 10 minutes, I'm set up for like 3 interviews. So I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what the difference is, but so all of today I just been doing a lot of research, freshening up on shit, getting ready for stuff, and a lot of recruiters looking over job descriptions. So I'm gonna be back out here in this workplace pretty soon, God willing. But
Good
at
goal.
the same time, I get an email from unemployment saying, "Hey, we're reinstating that extra money on top of unemployment again." And I'm like, "Oh, are you now?" Maybe I'm not as much of a rush as I thought I was. So yeah. So all today, man. And just doing regular work alone is, good enough to make you tired. But then I got a 18-month-year-old upstairs or down here who's just
Has it been that
energetic.
long already?
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah, a year and a half, huh?
yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's like um a summer solstice baby, so
Astrology. Yeah, and he's energetic like I am, so bang 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 boom boom boom, him and T'Challa. So yeah, I feel good though. But yes, my brain, as far as working, been working all day, so you gotta just bear with me, guys.
We always gotta bear with you, but
Oh my goodness.
it's just more of the same.
I just want the listeners to know that my boy Jake told me to shut the fuck up 2 times already before the podcast even started, and this is all I said was hi, and I forgot what the other one was. I just said something like, I forgot what it was. Oh, I asked Waz if he hated making a Google Meet, and he told me, and then Jake told me to shut the fuck up again. And yes, STFU, shut the fuck up, with the Dave Chappelle gif. So you know how he said it. Shut the fuck up. Got Japan sending PlayStations.
Well, there's so many good ones. I just wanted to keep doing it, you know?
Yeah, shut the fuck up is a untapped GIF reaction in our group chat. We don't usually use it, so.
Yeah, like we use it in the work chats a lot, but personally we don't, because I feel like every time, like I do go ahead and decide to do something like that, I feel like I'm just going like hard. Like, Jake, what are you doing, bro? But it's so funny that.
Well,
So yeah. So just expect that JJ's not gonna know what he's in for, but
right. What else we got on the docket, y'all?
I saw something about apparently Holyfield has offered to train Connor to fight Pacquiao. Which I'm
Are
like,
you
that's
looking for
interesting.
the Conor McGregor Manny Pacquiao fight? Because I'm not.
Nah, no, I'm good.
Straight.
I'm good. Actually, I could send a video in that vein. Give me 1 second. Octachess. Man, it's been funny seeing just how stupid everyone is. These stupid ass. Here, I'll put it over in here. Like the Trump supporters are just really getting under my skin. Like, how much of a damn cult it all is. Like, whoever Daddy Trump says to turn on, boy, do they turn on him real quick. And I had seen someone go ahead and actually, yeah, let me go. I'll read it. I don't know if you had seen the video of what's his face, Arnold Schwarzenegger going ahead and saying how unacceptable the attack on Capitol Hill was, blah blah blah.
I
Said
didn't
some
watch it
disparaging.
because I knew it was just the same bullshit, but I saw the tweet. I saw somebody tweeted about it. So
Yeah.
that's all you gotta see is the tweet and know. All right, I can get the
Yep.
gist of what you're saying in this shit.
Yeah. So this dumbass I know, he went ahead and posted, "Boy, Arnold Schwarzenegger has got a lot of nerve, Dehoney, with his high morals, humping his maid, having a illegitimate kid running California. Go back to wherever you come from, you barely English-speaking turd."
All right, so we
And
got a
that's
little
all
hate
one
in there.
sentence.
We got a little racist in there. We got a little
Yeah, that was all one sentence. So of
immigration
course,
hate in there.
so my response to seeing that was that what the hell was it I said exactly? Oh, I had said something to the effect of, considering how poorly constructed that sentence was, he should probably leave the country himself, and that he might as well take Melania with him if like that's sort of like our threshold here for whether you deserve to be here or not.
That's hilarious.
It's just so like your boy anyone goes ahead and touches your boy, and you can't go ahead and deal with any sort of facts or reality. You just get pissy and freak out and go.
That's what made me laugh when I seen Nicki Madman's status. And I just laugh because I'm like, I understand. I know that there's a lot of people who think the same way that this man is thinking. And that is something I did want to ask y'all about, like
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
the I don't even know what you want to call it. You know, the banning of apps and this whole thing on these social
Mhm.
media sites, where they're trying to regulate all this stuff. So I kind of want us to talk a little bit about freedom of speech, and it seems like you got a little something in the chamber, Jake. So you can start us off.
Yeah, because I watched a couple of things earlier today and have seen a number of posts and conversations about it. And it's kind of funny because freedom of speech, the First Amendment, literally is in regards to what the government can do and cannot do. The government cannot restrict your speech.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is not
Not
the
the
government,
government, yeah.
it is a private company.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing also is that so many of these people are like free market types. So you believe that the government should not regulate private industry, yet you're upset that a private industry is not recognizing your First Amendment government right. And now you think the government should step in and regulate this
Yep.
private industry.
Yep.
That doesn't seem to make a lick of fucking sense. It's simply because you're the victim here and you didn't think your shitty, stupid idea through. Um, and then, but okay. Anyways, the free market idea is that if Twitter is to go ahead and ban free speech, then what would obviously happen is that
The people. Yep.
all these freedom-loving Americans will go ahead and support a rival competitor that
Mm-hmm.
is pro free speech,
Mm-hmm.
like Parler. But that exists on private servers owned by other people. So now they're pissed off because Amazon AWS went ahead and kicked them off of their servers.
Yep.
Okay, well, guess what? You could
You can
still
still have your own fucking server.
exactly. You could still spin up your own shitty little server farm in your garage or your mom's basement, wherever the fuck it is, Cletus.
And it wouldn't even have to be shitty if you have this overwhelming support that
Exactly.
you guys try to make it seem like y'all have.
Right. But now here's the real kicker, and here's the real funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've created your shitty, racist, social media parlor here, and then you got your hate server farm operating out of your mom's basement. Okay, that's cool. You now like you're up and running, right? But not exactly, because what about the ISPs? Comcast could go ahead and say, we don't want this traffic coming over our lines, and they could shut you out. And you know who you have to thank for all of that?
A
The
G-Pod!
the Republican Party for when they shot down net neutrality. Because
Yes,
as Ted
sir.
Cruz said, net neutrality is Obamacare for the internet.
My
So
boy, a G-Pod.
good
I
thing we
never
don't have.
have that.
That's
That's
literally
just
what he
wrong
called
on so many different levels.
it. Yup.
The Obamacare for the...
But like
That's so terrible.
too many levels to even
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah, so I'm really not all that sorry that y'all decided to go ahead and be a couple of like a bunch of big business shills and fuck yourselves out of net neutrality, and then you decided to be a bunch of uh, uh, free market idiots and paint yourself into this corner. I'm really not all that sorry. This is exactly what you wanted, so suck a dick or die trying.
You know what the funny part to me is? That a site like Parler, I did like you're done before you start. Like I only heard about you because of how they're ending you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Really?
I didn't hear. I had never heard or seen anything about Parler until I seen people say they was shutting it down, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even get to go on that roller coaster ride. Like
No, I heard about it probably about a year ago, at least.
that's also a
Okay.
testament to our differing timelines, as you
Mhm.
recall.
Well, no, I wasn't hearing from it from there. I want to say it was when on some episodes of Joe Rogan's podcast, because
Oh,
there's Parler and Gab. Those were like the two free speech places.
you
And
heard of
so,
this too before that, Wazzy?
I had heard Parlor. I haven't heard of Gab.
Okay.
yeah, Gab's still up, I believe. And
And
the funny thing
so
is that I like to go ahead and dip my toe into the crazy. I did create a Gab account, if I remember correctly, but I never created a Parlor account, and now I'm kind of bummed that I never like just poked my head behind the veil to see the wild.
so do either you know what I don't know what these two social media mediums were originally created for? 'Cause I'm sure
Free
they
speech.
Parlor was just going to be unmoderated. It was just a general unmoderated combination Reddit, Twitter, like Facebook type of thing. From what I haven't visited it, so I don't know what it ended up being. But I think their plan was just American 4chan, I guess, kind of.
Hmm.
Mm,
And then once the world started blowing up, it was very easy for the Republican Party, who wasn't welcome anywhere, to go there because it was unmoderated. But there's also a difference between being unmoderated and freedom of speech.
mhm,
They can still moderate and allow freedom of speech.
Hmm.
mhm. Right.
So
I guess that's what my question is, and none of us have no experience with it, so I don't expect y'all to have the answers, but a lot of times in these situations, these things end up being they sound worse than they actually are. So I just kind of wonder, like, was Parlor like at 95%, like just people talking and having this good time, and then another, 5% of it was, that bullshit, or did these um radicals take it over, and it just got to a point where it was like, all right, everybody trying to incite riots and shit, and we got to shut this shit down since y'all not doing it.
I may be misremembering the story that I heard, but it was basically so Parlor went up and it was all fine and good. And then some weird niche group, I can't remember what it was, but it was like
Anonymous.
a niche, like neo-Nazi type of
Oh
like
my
very
goodness.
niche, very something like that. Where and then I think once everybody realized how unmoderated it was, and Facebook and Twitter started moderating more, that was when they moved over. But I could be wrong on that.
Once
Yeah,
again, bro. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I was just gonna say like that's like the difficult thing with all of this, right? Like, I mean, it's so difficult to really understand like where you're getting hit from. Just like with the Black Lives Matter protests over the summer and the riots that had ensued, um, who was actually instigating that? Who is the ones actually going ahead and causing the destruction and fueling those flames? And then you know, um, who was it who was actually? I mean, it would be very easy to go ahead and jump onto something like Parlor and go ahead and troll in order to get it shut down like this, right? In
Hmm.
order to radicalize. So I don't know, man. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I
Nobody
feel
like
you.
it's guerrilla warfare. No one's wearing uniforms, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And but this is kind of going also back to what I was saying about these politicians. I'm watching Cobra Kai now, and my favorite quote in this show so far is when uh Johnny, the main I guess he the main character. I don't know if you the older dude who opened up Cobra Kai again. He gets that new girl student and he's like she says they're cyberbullying me. He's like, pussies. They some fucking pussies. And he say, back in my day, we used to make fun of a motherfucker to their face. That was real respect. That was real honor. And I just laugh at that because I'm like, you wrong as hell, but that's true. Like, if bullies was bullies, dog. Like, it wasn't no fucking keyboards and shit. Like, if if you had the ideals, come out and fight for that shit. Die for that shit. Y'all so pussy now on this Parlor shit, this Twitter shit, this Facebook shit. Like, and half of y'all doing all this typing, aka people we know, but y'all not out here in these streets with it, and y'all not doing shit for it. So it just, I don't know. That shit just made me laugh when I heard it last night. He was like, when he said we used to make fun of people to their face, and I'm like, hell yeah, what they gonna do about it? That shit just rang true, bro. Like, you know, good people stood up for good shit, but even the bad guys, like, you gotta make me stop being bad, bro. I'm not no punk. You gotta whoop my ass. and you just don't see that no more, dog. And you know, that this could transition also to raising kids and the shit I think about on a daily basis now. Cause I'm just like, I wish a motherfucker would cyberbully my son. Like Mike, you find his username, and when you see him in school, you punch him in his fucking mouth. That's another Cobra Kai like thing. Their whole thing is strike first, right? And it's like we've talked about that. All three of us, like, you don't let a motherfucker hit you first, bro. If you feel that beef coming, you knock his ass out, dog. You initiate that shit, bro. You don't start the altercation, but if it's no way for you to get out the altercation, you don't wait to get smacked, bro. Smack his ass.
Yeah, no sense in going ahead and wait until you're stabbed before you go ahead and try to defend yourself.
Oh, it was self-defense. Nah, bro. We'll figure that. We got good lawyers over here. Don't wait till you get stabbed first. You felt it. You felt like you was in danger, and go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh well. Before we hop off of the free speech thing.
Mm-hmm. No, I wasn't trying to hop off it. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just wanting to. I did go ahead and see some stuff about. Apparently, a lot of other world leaders are not happy with what Twitter did. About Trump, including people like Angela Merkel of Germany, and Emmanuel Macron of France, who are not fans of Trump by no means at all, obviously, but they see this as a very dangerous precedent, which begs like a rather interesting question, like. If social media wants to go ahead and start policing world leaders and what they have to say, what's to say that world leaders won't go ahead and just shut off those services from their country? We've seen, well, I mean, obviously there's a situation with China and their Great Firewall of China, and other countries similar to that.
Great firewall. Fire.
You have in Russia, they have their own equivalent of Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of thing. They still have Twitter and Facebook open to them, but it would be nothing for them to go ahead and say, "All right, Jack, you could go fuck yourself," and cut off Twitter to all of Russia,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. Other countries have made similar platforms. Turkey went ahead and had been using WhatsApp, and then they went ahead and shut that off. So
Too much sex on
it. So if big leaders like Macron and Merkel are going ahead and talking about this, hell, like, who knows what like the EU might choose to go ahead and do, and especially with Facebook and like how much you need like a large user base for all those ads and shit like that, right? Like that could be a huge financial hit to these companies.
And that's kind of why I felt a certain way. And I really did want to hear your opinion on that shit, Wazzy. Like, how do you feel about seeing, like, what was your initial reaction to seeing, like, all these places, you know, start deactivating Trump's account, and, you know, the ripple
Pinterest
effects.
Even.
Yeah, Spotify. That's why I sent it to y'all. I'm like, why the fuck he can't listen to this Spotify? Like, that shit crazy. But I was really curious to know what your thoughts was, Wazzy, on this.
It's weird because on the one hand, it is private company, it's private property. You can remove anybody you want from your own property with no issues. Even stores, If you own the property on the store, you can legally throw anybody out of your store for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, that makes sense. But on the other hand, without any real competitor, it makes them the truth. And there is no balance in that. When you have essentially one person making a decision on whether or not somebody could come into your store, it sets a bad precedent when you're Best Buy doing that. When you're, Target or Costco, and you're walking around Costco being like, "All right, get out. I don't like you." There's definitely a reason for this one, but there may not be reasons down the road. It could be you had one post that was correct at the time, but it's no longer correct, so it's now fake news, so they're gonna cut you off completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a
So,
slippery slope. Sets
I
a weird precedence for sure.
and
yeah.
and the precedence is the part that kind of just scares me, because whoever's the head of Twitter right now is not going to be the head of Twitter, in 50 to 100 years. Not to say Twitter's still going to be popping like that after, that long, but you never know. When I'm saying, what I'm saying? Like in 10, 20 years, it could be a different person in the head with different views, different ideals, and all the shit that he doing to, let's say because right now everybody's saying it's the liberal social media. All right, so
Mhm.
now let's say a Republican become the head of these joints that y'all love so much. He's going to, what if he decides, all right, I got some payback I want to do on y'all motherfuckers. We going to start getting rid of these soft liberals that keep spreading all this shit that's not 100% accurate, because guess what, guys? I don't know if y'all knew this. Democrats lie too. Liberals don't tell the truth all the time too. So now we about to have this fucking back and forth on social media sites, the same way we got to have a back and forth in the government. And not to say that that's gonna happen, but I don't know. That shit just kind of irritates me
And there
sometimes.
were there were some, I think it was a Senate hearing like a month and a half ago, where they were actually talking with both Zuck and Dorsey, and asking them questions, trying to figure out if they're where they are in media, and just kind of like general probing questions of, is social media a media company? Is it a news company? Is
Mhm.
it,
A
how do you
publisher.
actually classify it? How can they actually make money? Uh, so there was a really good
Do you,
discussion. I
do
think
you
it was like
remember
a
what the
month ago.
answers were?
Jack Dorsey was, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I can't tell you, I don't know, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I don't know. Okay, I'll look into it. Zucker was, all right, I'll get a guy to look into it. I'll have that to you by the end of tomorrow. I'll get that to you today. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll look it up. And then the issue was the Congress people not knowing technology. They're like, so if you wanted, could you just look in a database and get a post? And he's like, no, it's all encrypted. We can't. But you can just open up the database, right? No. But you have the data, right? No. I can't look at it.
That's hilarious that you even mentioned that, Wazzy, because you're right. Eventually, you got to start having people with that type of knowledge in these type of positions, right? You got to have like these dudes with that IT director knowledge of certain shit. Um, you, our boy Quest knowledge type of shit. In these meetings, because all the shit that you hate about it, my man's, he knew his shit, and you weren't about to
Mhm.
get no bullshit past him because he knew what was going on. You need those type of guys in these type of situations. So that's hilarious that you even mentioned that, because I didn't even think about that, Wazzy. Like, if you're dangerous with your knowledge and with your wordplay against somebody who don't know nothing that you talking about, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Well, then I mean, it also begs the question: why are all of them so active all of a sudden? Um,
I always wonder that, bro.
you know, um, could they not have taken? I mean, all right. So
My
obviously, Capitol Hill has changed things and has made things like real,
Mm-hmm.
but could they not have taken more action on the other bullshit that he was doing earlier in his term, or is this more, I mean, of them foreseeing that, oh shit, Democrats are taking over the Congress and the Oval Office, they're going to probably institute some regulations, perhaps go ahead and break up some of our monopolization that we have going on. We should go ahead and do something to show that we're being proactive in order to sate that appetite of theirs, you know?
My quick take is similar to yours, maybe a little bit more pessimistic, but I don't want to be the company that didn't ban Trump.
Hmm.
That's it too, for sure.
Well, hell yeah! I mean, just like after George Floyd was murdered, um, the number of companies that sent me emails going ahead and telling me like, "Hey, we just want you to know that." It's like, what are you talking
To
about? Like
know what?
that they support Black Lives
Uh,
Matter and stuff like that, and it's like
that's an I did. I never
you're
asked
big
y'all
lots,
that.
bro.
I never asked y'all that, and it was something did mean to ask y'all. Like how many meetings did y'all even have? Like company meetings about like diversity and racism did y'all have around that time, if
We
any?
have a whole committee for it.
Oh, do you? Who's on the
A
committee? Because
whole
all the black people are
like
out of
30
that
people.
company. They literally got rid of
I,
all the black people, so I don't know who y'all had on that committee.
I mean, most are still there. Well, now less with Dion and
No,
Betty
that's what
and
I'm
everybody.
saying.
But
Dion,
like
Betty,
Blake and
Byron, me, who?
Blake, there's a couple kids upstairs.
Yeah,
Oh,
Blake
I
is
remember
one.
Blake.
I could think of the
There's
face of
one
a couple,
black
but I
girl that
never I
had
never
just
met them.
started before I left. Summers was still there. Really
They
going
only got
on.
rid of about half of you. That's all, Mike.
Bro, I just, no, I just wanted to. That's what I'm saying. Because Shalonda, she still has like meetings every now and again to this day where they trying to talk about shit, try to figure out what they can do to be more inclusive and stuff. And I just, and talking to her friends, they almost kind of feel like, I don't know, it's very emotional, y'all. I can't even like, I don't want to take up a whole bunch of time on it, but it is emotional when you got to go through shit like this. And then you sit in these meetings, guys, and I've sat there with her during some of these meetings, and she'll have like white coworkers in the meetings say stuff like, "Oh, I didn't even know this shit was going on." Like that's how oblivious a lot of people are to the shit that's going on in the world. Like, oh, there's racism. I didn't know that was going on. I didn't understand. I didn't know that. I didn't know what. I never heard the term white privilege before. This month. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, so y'all just aren't in tune with any of this shit at all, and it gets emotional because now you like, man, I don't want to have to explain everything all over again to all of y'all because it pisses me off and it makes me sad about the situation, and talking about it only brings those emotions back up. So she was going through a lot of like racial sensitivity training type of things. A lot of that shit got pretty emotional, but I wasn't sure. I didn't even know if y'all had even had any conversations like that at y'all companies. No, not for you, Jake.
No,
How many you said y'all had a committee set up, Wazzy, but
Yeah,
how
we have
many like meetings did y'all even have?
I mean, we had like 2 town halls after all of that went down, and then I don't know how often the committee meets, but
Yep, that's it. And I feel like that's kind of what it was for most people. So, only reason I bring that up is just to kind of parlay is to kind of go back to the other stuff. Like when you don't talk about these things and you just see them and you sweep them under a rug, eventually shit happens. And that's what kind of happened with Trump, right? Like, all right, you keep letting shit slide, and then when it hits the fan, that's when you want to do something. Nah, man, you got to be able to fucking read the tea leaves, dog. But there are a lot of people still oblivious to all of this shit. All this shit. Racism, classism, sexism, all these isms, bro. There's a lot of people out here still like, oh, I didn't know that was going on. Like, where you live at, bro?
Well, and that's kind of like the difficult thing, right? Because, like you said, for you, like, you don't want to have this conversation again, bringing up all these emotions, all of these memories and stuff like that. You don't want to have to relive that every fucking time.
Yep.
But
But you
yeah,
got
it's
to.
the 100th time for you, but it's
But
the
it's the
first
first
time for
time for
this
somebody else. Yep.
and
And you
stuff.
got to.
But like we all have to go ahead and find, I don't know, maybe find some sort of way to just understand that even though something's new to me and maybe I'm excited about it and stuff, like it's old hat to someone else, and you can't expect there to be that sort of equality of reaction, right?
Yep. Because it's
And
hard to even explain certain shit. Like, yeah, like I can't tell you why, because it's not always blatant. You know, a lot of things that people do to you aren't always blatant, like discrimination. You know what I'm saying? It's just always subtle. So it always leaves you to be like, if you ask me, I'll tell you like, well, yeah, he did it because I was black. But then you go and ask him, and he'll say, nah, he showed up late. I had to fire him. And so in your head, he was like, oh, he showed up late. But then when you come talk to me, I could tell you like, no, bro, like, this dude that I also work with has showed up late 12 times in a row. I showed up late one time and he let me go. So it's, you know what I'm saying? It's always just circumstantial. It's always other bullshit that's going on under it, and that's what I be kind of feeling like when I see people start doing this, banning people from social media stuff. Like, what's the circumstances? What's going on? What actually is going on in Parlor to where y'all feel like y'all gotta ban these motherfuckers? Did y'all give them a warning before y'all banned them? Did y'all tell these guys like, hey, y'all need to start making sure this type of hate isn't on there? Or was it just a hot thing to do? Like, y'all saw somebody else ban it, like Wazzy said, I don't want to be the only people who didn't ban them, so I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon. Like, I don't be knowing that situation, and I don't know if y'all know it neither. If these motherfuckers even got warnings or nothing.
I have no idea. But it's hilarious. I've been seeing like 70-year-old dudes ask, like, posting on Facebook, like, how do I get on Parlor? And then people being like, bro, it's down. And but don't worry, it's going to be back up in a couple of days. They're getting it back up and stuff. And he's like, okay, let me know when. I'm like, bro, your old ass. Like, you're not being
Oh,
censored, like.
what did the racists do before social media, bro? Y'all just had like a little room y'all met up in the back of the bar and just talked about everybody else. Like, I need to know what the move was, y'all. Oh,
Well,
that's
yeah,
funny.
I mean, yeah, because like this really emboldens like a lot of communities because it's so easy to find people who are like you, and then it also makes it so easy to justify the way that you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's funny because like you got actual people out there who legitimately think that they're an animal.
Yeah. Shout outs to furries around the world, you freaky
Well, I
motherfuckers.
mean, furries are one thing, but then
I
there's
know
the
what you're talking
people, yeah,
about. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Other
about.
kin
I
are a
just
thing.
you said what was?
Other kin are a thing.
yeah.
Other kid, yep.
So if you think that you have this weird feeling, like, I don't know, man, like I have like a lot of wolf dreams, and like sometimes I just like looking at the moon. I think the moon's really beautiful. So I don't know. I've always kind of thought, and then you go ahead and you put it out on the internet somewhere, someone else is like, oh yeah, me too. And then you're, oh wait, I'm not alone. So maybe this is an objective reality sort of thing, and
Facebook Wolfkin group.
but then you got, and I feel like you got a similar sort of thing with racists, where they're like, you know what? I'm starting to think that the reason things are like this is because their skin color,
100%, bro.
and then other people feed into that, and then just now you have this isolated community that's getting each other agitated, like and echo chambers, right?
That echo chamber, a motherfucker. That affirmation a motherfucker too.
Yeah.
You can find bad shit about anybody and anything, bro, and you just cling on to that shit, as if you just the Jesus Christ resurrected.
I can't wait for all the hate that's gonna come at me for comparing Otherkin to the KKK.
They all fuck each other, right? Ain't that the same thing?
I mean,
I'm not attaching my name anywhere near that.
oh,
fuck the KKK, Wazzy. You can attach your name to fuck the KKK, bro. That's a pretty safe one. That's a pretty safe one.
I'm not saying that they're also otherkin.
Oh, okay. He's scared of the other kid community coming after his ass.
They're animals. I don't want a tiger after me.
Imagine hearing a grown man outside your crib howling and growling.
You know what? There could be benefits to otherkin.
Like what? What's the benefits?
Have a pet otherkin?
No, I'm just thinking dating.
Dating? Just a good submissive cat girl.
Wasn't what I said, but we'll go with that.
That's funny. I didn't licking yourself, Jake. That's funny as hell. That sound is annoying, by the way. T'Challa come downstairs and sit next to me and start licking himself, and I'll be like, "Yo, shut the like." It's nothing else he could do that piss me off as much as hearing him go. I'm like, bro, if you don't shut the fuck up and go back upstairs.
Yeah, Julia gets grossed out when Meadow does that. But what was it here? It was funny. Brandon sent me some link, and a bunch of the people who
shout out to Brandon, bro. Cheers to Brandon. That's my
Brandon, Brian, Mike, whatever his name is. Oh, he got called a new name the other day. I think he got called. I think it was Brad.
Okay, that's close to Brandon though. I feel like Brandon should be the nickname for.
Yeah,
Brad
but this guy,
should be that nickname.
This guy has known him for like 12 years.
Oh,
so.
that's disrespectful. That ain't right.
But what was it here? He sent me this link, and apparently,
right.
apparently, a bunch of the people who were at the Capitol Hill protest have been getting ratted out by like their ex-wives and shit. And it's and then one like that one lady who got shot, Ashley Babbitt or something like that.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that's it.
She was in like a polygamous relationship.
Oh.
And it's just funny to think about it. Like, you have these Trump supporters bum rushing Capitol Hill, and it's their ex-wives. Like, so like they're polygamous and their ex-wives are, and divorcees and stuff like that. Is that not just like sort of poetic? Like, of course Trump supporters like have poor relationships with their wives.
Yeah, bro, like I guess I told y'all last week, when you look at that crowd, there wasn't nobody out there like that you was like, that man is really out there because he understands what's going on. Like, these is all people who hurt and probably don't even listen to anything my man's actually say. They just kind of trying to cling on to something that they think represents them as the lower class, I don't know, lower class, I guess. Lower, and so that's just funny as hell, bro. Shout outs to ex-wives. This is why you don't get a divorce. Not only are you getting these goddamn you gotta pay them checks every month, but they go tell her your ass. If they get send his ass to jail. I know Ronnie ass. That's Ronnie. He's staying in the trailer park over here in Wisconsin. His stupid ass drove all the way down there. Go ahead, pick him up. They was getting arrested when they was getting off the planes, bro. Like, y'all seen that shit? Like, imagine you come home, you think you had a successful raid. Like, what is it, Wazzy? You greed rolled a piece of armor that you needed, and you got that motherfucker, aka the dude stole that podium. Soon as you get back to the crib, you banned from the server. Your ass arrested, bro.
Well, wasn't that part of what I was saying last week? Was like, I bet you, like, there's so much video and pictures of all of them. Everyone was streaming. Everyone's faces are identified and stuff.
Yep.
Let them get a little of this out of their system and fuck things up a little bit. No real damage. Make sure that things don't get too out of control. And then when they get off the planes, let's get them.
Yep, let's get
They'll
them.
be all isolated and shit like that. Super fucking easy.
And then when you fly, because some of them didn't fly back the same time others flew back. So imagine you still there because you like, all right, we raided the Capitol Hill, but I'm about to stay out here for a couple more days and just enjoy DC. And then you
I hear the cherry blossoms are in season.
You open your phone and you seeing people getting snatched up when they coming back. Like imagine your plane ride home just fucking just fucking shook just knowing that the FBI waiting for your ass when you get back. So like the night before you just getting shitty drunk like this might be my last day of freedom. I'm about to fuck some strippers. I'm about to get drunk as hell. I'm about to enjoy DC.
Get some of that famous DC crack, you know, and just do it up real good.
Just sprinkle some crack on them. Oh my god.
Shout out to Marion Barry.
Oh fuck, bro. Damn, y'all funny as hell. Oh, Wise, what you been watching, bro? And outside of anime, because I had threw y'all some joints I was watching on Netflix and nobody responded, so I felt kind of bad.
I just binged Supernatural. I finished that off.
Shut the fuck up! Ain't no way you just binged a 50 season TV.
Yeah.
Well, I was done with season, or I was up through season 12. I had seen, so it was just 3 seasons.
They only had 15 seasons, bro. I swear to God, I thought Supernatural had 30 of them bitches at least.
15 years. Oh, with the same 2 main dudes acting.
Them motherfuckers is brothers, bro. Like you just
if
don't
they
find
weren't, they
that.
are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they weren't, they are 100%.
That show became live action anime. Like by the end, you're like, wait, this fight. Okay, whatever, sure, yep, okay, yes, it's fun.
When you say that, was it like did the fight scenes like CGI and choreography get super sick? Or are you just saying they just made up bullshit and powers to give people?
It was Gurren Lagann all over again, where by the end of it, you're like, how does a kid in a cave that found a pyramid screwy little necklace end up being in a giant robot that is fighting or throwing one galaxy at another galaxy? Like, one is the start of the anime and one is the end.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's funny going back and binge watching shit. Because I just restarted Community too. That's it.
What'd you watch, Jake?
What you say, Woz?
I said, what did Jake say? He had said something.
Yeah.
I just said I need to get back into Supernatural. I really enjoyed
It's not good, but it's entertaining.
Right.
It's
good.
It's good. I mean, if it's entertaining, it's good to me. So that's good.
I really enjoyed that like soap opera episode. That shit was super.
I didn't know that. So they switched it up and hit y'all with like a telenovela type of episode.
Yeah.
There was a Scooby episode. There were
that's
a
what
couple
I was wondering
like
about.
real world episodes where they came out into the real world.
Yeah, like they really broke that fourth wall, like in some like really funny ways to me.
They don't care about walls, like
because after 7 seasons, guys, as a writer, you think about the writers, you're eventually gonna be like, all right, they keep wanting more seasons of this shit. I'm about to do what I want, bro. Like fuck with y'all. I don't care.
So the show was actually supposed to end after season 5, but then the writer strike and everything happened during that. And in that process, they got a new producer. Hilarious. And the new producer's like, I don't want it to end. So it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, producer? You don't got no say in that shit. You gotta get money to.
I think he does.
No, bro, you gotta get backing and money from the TV
He is the
companies.
money, man. He's the producer.
I guess, bro. That's hilarious. No, I don't want it to end. Let's go 10 more of these things.
Like, yeah, think about that. Like,
can you look up how much money both of them was getting per episode towards the end of Supernatural, Wazzy? Or
like,
even was they peak maybe?
It's funny to think about. Like, you had planned for the lifespan to be 5 years, and then you went ahead and resurrected and like put that thing on life support, not just for double that, but like it ends up being triple what it was
Yes, bro,
intended to be.
200%, bro. But that's what I'm saying. If you get on a show like that, and as a writer, you get to just eventually y'all just come in like, hey, what y'all dream about last night? Yo, I was watching this dog ass soap opera. Let's do a soap opera episode, and everybody's like, oh hell yeah, let's do it. And the ideas just start flowing. Like, I know that's what it's like out there. They just having fun, and then your two main actors still get along after 15 years. Fire. Go ahead.
So the main three people make anywhere from $110 to $175,000 per episode.
Yep, that sounds about right. That's nasty.
And they've been doing that 15 years.
But I also think I heard somewhere that like Family Guy voice actors, like the dude who do Peter and shit, and that might be a girl. They'll get like $1 million per episode, like Mila Kunis and shit. I think I might have heard that somewhere. Maybe you could look that up too, real quick, Wazzy. I don't know. But $100,000 per episode, like you said, that's a lot of money.
It's a little bit. That's a couple ducats.
Because them bitches coming out weekly, but not to say they coming out every week for a year, but you know, you getting 20 how many episodes per season in that shit?
24, I think.
Stupid.
24, 26. 20, anywhere between 20 and 26, I think.
There's 327 episodes.
Would I get
so?
Go ahead, Wazzy.
Family Guy, it looks like they're making $250-ish an episode.
Which is crazy, bro. That's
cool. They also have like Seth MacFarlane doing, 4 voices. Mila's probably doing 3 or 4 voices on a regular basis.
No, yeah, you're right. Yep. But I feel like I saw somewhere that even if you say one thing in an episode, you get like a full paycheck. Because they've done like episodes where like you haven't seen Stewie or something the whole episode. Then he'll come in the last second and be like, I'm here, and then it'll go off.
I think you're right. I think they have to pay if you're on set. Like I don't think they have to pay for like phone calls and stuff like that. In one of the Supernatural episodes, they could have had somebody come back on, but instead they just didn't show his face and only showed him shaking hands and driving off. And you're like, come on, the guy's on your speed dial. He was in 4 episodes ago. You know him. Call him in. You're like, hey, come in for a couple of minutes, sit in the car and shake a hand.
Yeah, because you're right, Rozzy. I think there is a difference between them seeing you and you actually speaking, and money. That's funny as hell. Fuck Hollywood. Oh man, that's good shit. That's a lot of money to be making per episode for shit, y'all. Ooh wee. All right, y'all want to get into the album review?
Yeah, let's do it.
N.E.R.D. seeing sounds. All the girls standing in the line for the bathroom. All the girls standing in the. So the reason why I chose this album, y'all, N.E.R.D. What can I say about this shit, bro? So I think that the main reason, y'all, is because when it came out, I was still a young boy.
Young boy.
And I want to pull up the what's it called real quick so I can some of these statistics so I can make sure I say them right, not fuck them up. 2008, right? So I was a senior in college. About to head off to I mean, I was a senior in high school, my bad, about to head off to college. And we kind of already talked about how your taste in music starts really getting formed around 14. But Pharrell had came out with a single before this, probably in like 2005, Frontin' with Jay-Z. And then even before this, he got one of the most famous beats of all time, right? Grinding with the clips. Grinding, and you know what I keep in a line. And that beat is so famous just because at the time that it came out, motherfuckers was just still used to like hard hitting beats like Wu-Tang type, bass rattling type shit. And then Pharrell come out with this beat for the clips that's just like and everybody's playing it in the high schools, beating it on their fucking tables with their pencils and shit. And then so from that, when he did that, I thought he was just a producer. All right, you just make beats, right? Then he came out with Frontin'. Frontin' was a dog ass single, and I'm like, fuck, this motherfucker be rapping and singing too? That's crazy, right? So then I kind of followed them a little bit, but Seeing Sounds was the first album, like full album that I listened to of theirs. And I was like, this shit different, bro. Just from the intro. And I'm like, God, I love the intro so much just because of you know, at the time I was still like 2008, a lot of like rap was really changing around that time, right? But it was still like in this mode of like you get Lil Wayne coming out. That was it, like he was still like one of the best rappers alive. And you just wasn't hearing shit like this in hip hop with dudes singing on different type of beats like this in production. So I chose this because this was kind of like that start, like Kanye, Lupe was like that transition for me from the content. And, you know, we've been talking about lyrics lately, right? So Lupe and Kanye, their production was not necessarily as different from everybody else's production. And when I say production, I'm talking about beats, right? The beats wasn't necessarily different, but the content, the things that they was rapping about was way different than everybody else. But then this is when I start listening to shit like, damn, these beats is way different than the other shit that I was listening to, along with the shit that Pharrell be singing about and rapping about. So this is it started like this transition for me of like, you know, I always had like other shit because when I went to Bloomfield, I used to hang out with you know, dudes on the football team, right? So and we was all races, bro. White, black, Asian, Mexican, Latino, my bad. And so everybody listened to different shit. So everybody started putting me on different shit. So I was already kind of making this transition, but I hadn't made that transition within hip hop, right? So this is me starting to make that transition within hip hop, dog. And it's just Pharrell, Hugo, Chad Hugo, and I always forget the third. It's a third motherfucker in this group, dog, and I always forget his name, and I need to find it real quick. It's another black dude, Shay Haley.
Yeah, he's on the drums, right?
Yeah. These dudes just switched it up for me, bro. And I just love this vibe. I love this what he be talking about on shit, because he also once again, it's a lot of different like inner meanings in a lot of these songs that I really fuck with. And I started respecting Pharrell as a rapper between 2005 and 2008, because he started jumping on songs with like Lupe and Kanye. And there was a time around 2004 to 2006 where there was this rumor that Kanye, Lupe, and Pharrell was gonna make a super group called CRS. And they dropped 2 songs together. Both of those songs was crazy, y'all. And then they just never did nothing. So I was like, all right, if you can get on a track and keep up with Kanye and Lupe at that time, like, you know, I fuck with you, period, point blank, you know. So I just love Seeing Sounds from the name. I just love the name Seeing Sounds. It's just amazing to me just thinking about that. And then the actual songs themselves took me to another level of like, oh, hip hop has other different types of sounds, and I can tell it's evolving. and I really fuck with it. So, and then this is when Pharrell became one of my favorite producers, period. And then also one of my favorite artists, even to this day. So don't jump at once. Shit.
All right. Well, um, uh, I was familiar with Pharrell and N.E.R.D. I don't know though if I had listened to this album in its entirety before. I know I've listened to Nothing, the album that came after this, but I'm not sure if I had listened to this entirely before. Um, it's a really erratic album.
Mm-hmm.
Hops all over the place, explores a lot of different sort of textures and stuff. Um, and it's it's really interesting. Like for one, just the title, "Seeing Sounds," and the intro, because Pharrell like does have a case of synesthesia. He can see sounds. Um, that's a
Mm-hmm.
real thing, you know.
Mm.
And
Damn, I didn't even think of that. You right. Yep.
yeah, so that in its own, like, for one, I guess, like, to be open enough to go ahead and share that, is interesting, and then to kind of do it in such a, I mean, it's not a subtle way at all. Like in the intro, he literally says, "I discovered that I could see sounds,"
Mm-hmm.
but you just like, all right, yeah, whatever, and then you just move on. But then again, like this man is like a musical genius. Um, like, go ahead and look at the writers for this album. It's all Pharrell.
Yep.
Hugo has some writing credits on like 3 of the 13 songs, but 10 of them are just Pharrell by himself. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like Pharrell doesn't have writing credits on those other 3 neither. You know, you mentioned his beat production and his rapping on other stuff. And yeah, so like, I mean, he's an extremely talented artist. And it just makes it so much more interesting to go ahead and imagine what it's like for him to make this music. If
Mm-hmm.
if he can go ahead and see sounds, and who I don't know to what degree he can. Um, so for him, making this song isn't really making the song as much as it is, or hearing the song, but as much as it is painting a picture. And that's so fucking trippy, you know, like hallucinogens can go ahead and mimic these sorts of states and stuff. But it makes you really wonder, like, what is a day in his life like? Which also reminds me that I had seen this TED talk. This guy who is like wild crazy and super colorblind, like monochromatic, just black and white sort of deal. And he's got this sensor and camera that's like dangling from his head forehead pretty much, that's tapped into the back of his brain. And it goes ahead and he hears certain tones when it picks up certain colors. So um, he was going ahead and talking about how it affects the way he dresses and the way he cooks, because he'll go ahead and be like, you know what, I'm feeling a C major today, and he'll go ahead and dress in that chord, you know. And he doesn't, I mean, he still doesn't know what other people perceive it as, really, but he's like, I mean, I don't know, I look down and this sound, you know, C major represents how I'm feeling today. He might go ahead and cook in a B minor or what have you. So now that's like I guess the opposite, you know, of Pharrell here, and it's also like a manufactured sort of thing. But like twisting the senses and having them cross over is just interesting. And Pharrell really exposed me to just that whole spectrum of like the human experience. Which I actually just pulled something up, and apparently he had discovered his synesthesia while listening to A Tribe Called Quest, which that's really fascinating.
Yep.
Um, but let me look at some of my notes here. Oh, I don't have them open yet. That's why. But um, really good album. I really like it. Um, it's something I felt like I could just put on for any time of day. And it always would fit in somehow. Um,
Bro, I played this while I was working out, dog, and I was like,
mhm,
this shit
I
going
believe it.
hard with the workout.
Hmm. Where's the track list now? Let me get my shit organized. So, time for some action. Um, I don't know if it was just me, but I hit play. There's the intro, and then once the intro ends and time for some action starts kicking in, that bass
Mm-hmm.
immediately reminded me of DMX's "Fucking with D."
Dude, I get that vibe too for sure.
Um, I that whole all the girls standing in the line for the bathroom will always make me crack up laughing.
Bro, hilarious, bro.
There was
And you
something
know
about
why it's super hilarious to me too? Because there was a girl in my high school that just was in love with Pharrell, bro, and she was on the cheerleading team. And they would sometimes make the cheerleader sit on the bus with the football players after away games,
mhm.
and she would bang that shit. Like you know, remember headphones didn't have like they
Yeah.
weren't sophisticated back then. So if I ain't had no headphones, I had to listen to what you was listening to. So and her, she used to bang that shit, bro.
um, and also one of the things that got me a lot of respect for Pharrell was when he was actually on, I think, Ellen DeGeneres after like that whole Happy, like when Happy really popped off. And there was that one video of like people dancing all across the world and shit.
Yeah,
And like he was all like tearing up and stuff, like just that he was able to make that straight impact, like positive impact on people. I'm like, all right, this guy's cool.
yeah.
um, let me get back here. On Windows, I don't know what it was with his voice in like the chorus, but I was getting some like CeeLo vibes that I haven't felt in a really long time.
Yep.
um, on Antimatter, that guitar was fuzzy as hell. Um, and the opening guitar riff was really sounding to me like some Black Sabbath, which I was like a little surprised by. Which and I was also looking up like, all right, well, what do people classify N.E.R.D as? And
Mhm.
apparently classified as alternative rock, which I wouldn't have guessed. But then like I'm sitting here listening to this guitar riff on Antimatter, and I'm like, I mean, I guess if you had to pick a box, um,
But I
then
just I love that bitch though. I love that beat. I love that shit though. You so fancy, dumb man.
on Sooner or Later at the very beginning, I had like gym class hero vibes, which I wondered if there was any sort of connection there at all for you between the album and gym class heroes.
Oh yeah, this is about the same time that them albums came out, around the same time. This is when I started getting into this type of different shit.
Mm.
So
And then,
yes, I always kind of put them together in my head.
okay, so I wasn't losing my mind. All
No, no,
right.
no, 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 no.
um, then the solo on the end of that song was amazing, like the guitar solo. Then 8 went, Happy there had like some real shoegazy vibes to me that I was not expecting at all.
Which is
Um,
hilarious, because I had forgot that he had another Happy before
right.
the other Happy, bro. So when this one
Hmm.
came on, I was like, oh yeah, there was a Happy one.
Part 1. Um, on Killjoy, there's something about the flow there that reminded me of like some old rap,
Hmm.
like some like 80s, 70s type rap.
Because it's the cadence where you just
Hmm.
it's and like you can kind of
Yep.
like you hear everything he's saying, and then you also can tell like, all right, I know what you probably gonna rhyme with this in your next line.
Hmm.
To where that's how old rap used to be. They didn't want you to not be able to know what they were saying. It was all for partying. I want you
Right.
to learn my lyrics so that when I come to this next party, you can sing along with me, Waz, and we gonna all have a fucking good time. I don't want it to be complicated. It's simple.
Yeah, like a communal effort, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we're all singing together in
Everybody saying hip hop, hippie to the hip hip hop, and you don't stop.
time. um, you know what was really funny to me because there's a part of it where I can't remember if it was the cadence or if no, I want to say it was actually the music in the background. Um, reminded me of Eddie Murphy's "My Girl Likes to Party All the Time."
There's like a I think it might even just be in
Yeah.
the same key. I gotta think about it though, but you right.
And then what was it here on shit?
Shout out to Eddie Murphy for having that one fire song randomly out of nowhere. With Rick James in the video too. That was ridiculous. If you ever want to know who was a rock star, how are you a comedian and a rock star? That's like that motherfucker was too famous.
Should never gave them any money. Man.
You want to say it so bad.
No. don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Shake and bake.
And then what was it here? The last song, Laugh About It. I'm sitting there listening to it and I'm like, this reminds me of Fabulous's Youngin'.
Oh yeah. I
And
think
I'm
he
like,
made that beat.
yeah, and so like that's why I looked up just a second ago. Like because I wanted to make sure that I had that all right and that I wasn't like just quoting it. And then I looked down like for that single under songwriter, John Jackson, Chad Hugo. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And then producers, the Neptunes.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
well, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, so just like, you know, a lot of the conversation that we had about Kanye West and like just how prevalent he is in music and how much he's changed music because everywhere you go, you hear Kanye.
Yeah.
The same has to be said of Pharrell and the Neptunes, and which because of like they're just everywhere, right? And they've touched so much on music. But could you help me understand the difference between the Neptunes and N.E.R.D? Is it just Shay?
Yeah, no, I think that's the same shit.
Just like a
It-
rebrand?
yeah. So
Okay.
but you're right. I think it is. I think the Neptunes might just be just the fact that it's just Chad and Pharrell because they actually make beats. But yeah. But the last dude there, Shay, they only brought him in because they was making the songs and they was like, this shit ain't hitting hard enough. Like we need something else to hit. And like you said, he played the drums, so he got in there and started killing it. And it was like, that's exactly what we needed.
Mhm.
Some good ass drumming over it.
Yeah, and the bass line on every single song is wild.
Yeah. Oh man, I love a bass line.
Mhm. That's what I had.
I enjoyed it. It's weird though. So like the first half of the album, while I was listening to it, I kind of got like late '80s, mid '90s, like turntable style hip hop. Is kind of like what it felt like he was going for. Um, so like Me So Horny and like Beastie Boys and that kind of stuff, where it's sampled over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like all of the tracks through the album all have individual components I really like. Just for my ear, it didn't quite get executed as well as I would have hoped, or not hope, but I don't know how to word it. But like I can see that it was almost to where I'd really like it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a listen down the road once I've given it time, maybe then I'll like it more. But like even sooner or later, like I liked almost the entire song. It was just that guitar solo was probably 30 to 45 seconds too long. It's like little stuff like that that just make me almost really want to like it. I think what was my favorite song on it.
You like both half of Sooner Than Later? Because it got like a slower part in the beginning and then they kind of switch it up in the second half.
I I wasn't a huge fan of the slower part. I think it was done well, but it wasn't bad enough that I'd say it was a negative for the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just love that
Uh,
whole song, but I wasn't sure which. I just wanted to know if you liked both halves or if it was the second half that you liked more. That makes sense.
no, I liked both halves. They're very different. So how many people sing in this album? Because I kind of have an interesting, well, not interesting to me question.
Just for real.
Okay, so
You might have some girls doing some different shit.
but he did all of the main
vocals.
singing and rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was really interesting because I was listening through, and is it intro or everybody knows or everyone knows where he has a singing part in it? It might be
Everybody knows it has a breakdown towards the end.
it might be that. So it sounds like he's trying to use his rap voice to sing, and I think thank you. That throws me off.
Go ahead. I was just trying to figure out. It is. Sorry, damn.
I can't remember which one. It was one of them. But I could tell he was using his rapping voice to sing, and that was what threw me off. Because later, when he was doing head voice and falsetto, I had absolutely no issue with the singing. Like, I'm like, cool, I like it, I can get into it. When he sang with the rap voice, that was what threw me off. And I'm wondering if in the past those are also kind of what was throwing me off a little bit. Like, because there is a very strong vocal tenor that I need. But yeah, it was interesting to kind of see on my end.
So you would like most of a song, but then there would be something in certain songs that you would be like, I didn't really like that part of the song.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it like it creates like a physical uncomfortableness in me. I don't know how to explain it, but it like
that's the
when
best way to explain it. Because yeah, if I hear somebody, I feel physically uncomfortable for sure. If I hear like somebody try to hit a note that they don't really hit, and you just kind of be like, I ain't like that.
When there's a strong lack of confidence of singing too, that I'm like, I can hear you are trying your best, but not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
but that what's funny about the falsetto thing you said is that was his first single, Frontin'. He's singing this falsetto the whole song, and it's like, damn, I didn't even, you just know him because he made the grinding beat for so long that he come out with a single, and then the first thing you hear him do is I was just frontin', I want you, babe, and it's like it's this high tone like falsetto like the whole way through, and I'm like, wait, when did you start doing that? And he had N.E.R.D stuff out before that, but I wasn't peeping all that shit until he had got the Jay-Z collab. So no, I understand Wazzy. I think that a second listen through probably would help out though, because once you get familiar, or third, yeah, third maybe. There was something I was about to say. Fuck. Oh. Another main reason why I did bring this up, and it's one of the reasons why I also had brought up Kanye, is that sometimes I don't think I fully explain how shit like this affects like affected me, right? I'll just say that, right? And I think we all had songs and music like that, right? But just think about Mike, right? I'm a fucking video game playing, anime watching ass nerdy ass black kid. And the only thing that ever made me popular is the fact that I play basketball. If I didn't hoop, y'all, I would have been so lame. It was crazy, right? So I would, for a long time, I'll listen to certain shit because I thought, hey, you're black, this is what you're supposed to listen to, right? I never wanted to hear from other black kids at my school like, man, you an Oreo. Like that shit used to piss me off, and I got into a lot of fights about shit like that. Like, don't call me nothing. It took a while before I realized, like, fuck what you talking about, dog. I'm cool. I like what I like. And these is one of those albums that made me say, bro, I like what I like, dog. And especially seeing as Everybody Knows was a one of those singles that came out. I'm like, come on, bro, you can't tell me that this shit don't bang. And I start getting my other friends to be like, yeah, that shit hard. Yeah, I know it's hard, motherfucker. Like, stop playing with me, dog. I know what I'm talking about. Because actually, now that I think about it, I think Everybody Knows came out later. I think I might have already been in college when. Oh, damn. Can y'all, when y'all look up the month that this came out in? Because I went to college in September of 2008, so I feel like this might have even came out when I was going into college.
June
June.
10th.
So okay, I had just graduated, headed into college, so I was okay. So you know, these type of albums like the Ye's, the Lupe's, the N.E.R.D's are and the gym class hero shit, you know, My Chemical Romance type shit. Like these things is what started making me say, fuck what y'all talking about, y'all. Like this is good music, and I'm not about to pretend like I don't like it just to appease y'all or seem like I'm blacker. Like this makes me less black because I like it. I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about no more. And this was one of those albums that really put me on a that really like topped it off. Like you know, if I think back about the shit that started making me that I'll listen to that I really like and start helping me get past certain shit, this is one of them. And I just want to make sure that I kind of express that the correct way. Like these ain't just regular joints for me. Sometimes it's, you know, it's it's stepping stones.
I almost like hearing that after, so it doesn't play into my enjoyment of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we don't have to like the same music
That's a
just
fact.
because one of us likes it.
Yep.
Jake, I had a question for you. If your favorite singer, Disturb Dude, was added to a track, does that ruin the song for you, or like if he was like a guest singer for like part of a chorus or?
I don't think that he's
Because
what I
I
hate
know you
most
hated
about
both, right?
Disturbed.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I hate Disturbed. I don't think that it's namely because of him though.
Okay.
Um, I'm not a fan of his. But I don't think that that would kill something for me. Uh, for me, it's honestly much more that fucking shitty ass guitar. Um, that's much more of a nuisance.
Okay. I mean,
So what's your question? What do explain the question for me real quick, Wazzy? You say
So-
if a person that you don't like features on a song that you do like, does it
the
ruin a song?
the base of the question is, can one very annoying portion of a song ruin an entire song? And like that had happened on one of the albums with Gym Class Heroes. I can't remember who was singing. It was somebody singing on one of them. It made me not want to listen to them, even though they were only a couple small portions, and it made me just not like the song. I was just wondering if that happened to anybody else.
Absolutely, but this also happens, Wazzy. I like the song so much that I end up start fucking with that shitty part in the song, bro. Like I can't explain it, but sometimes I'll like you said, if it's, you know, 30 seconds of the song, but I like, you know, the other 3 minutes of it, I'll listen to a song. And that does happen a lot in rap, Wazzy, because there's a lot of collaboration in rap as far as features and shit. So I'll hear songs where my favorite rapper has 2 verses on something, and then somebody else has a third verse. And they third verse probably only, you know, 10 to 12 bars, right? When a regular rap verse is probably 16. And I'll be like, this motherfucker ruined the song. But my favorite rapper went so hard on it and the beat so cold that eventually you just start laughing at the third dude's verse, and then you start knowing this verse because it's so ass. Like, she got a big booty, so I call her big booty. You just start saying that shit, and then eventually you kind of get over it. So yeah, that definitely happens to me. But it also happens the other way too, Wazzy, where I'll be like, this motherfucker ruined the song. I'm not listening to it no more. But probably more times than not, I kind of make myself not make myself. I end up liking certain songs if the other portion is really good. I don't know if Jake feels that way though.
I mean,
And then you end up liking his part eventually.
I can't think of a good example. Like I said, I'm not really that big of a fan of the Disturbed dude's voice. But like I can't, like I could think of plenty of applications of it where I think it would be a huge, great asset. Um, but yeah, so I'm not very imaginative, so I'm struggling to come up with any sort of example where I could be like, okay, I felt this way when I heard this or whatever.
Well,
So
you didn't like Mike Shinoda's verse on one of the Linkin Park songs where he was talking about
oh yeah,
how
yeah.
much better he was than everybody else. And you was like, what does that you
Well,
was
don't think
breaking
that-
down his verse. It was like, this shit don't even make sense. Did that make you hate that song?
Or Master of Numerology, Combat Theology, something.
Big Bang Theology was, it was part of it. No, I don't think that like would go ahead and ruin a song for me.
So you'll like a song and then just end up eventually being like, I'm a master of numerology.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far and stuff, but like, yeah.
Okay. So now I got to think about, because for you, Wazzy, is it like, all right, if I don't like one song, one part of the song is thrown away? You think that that's what you are?
All or nothing.
Yeah, is it all or nothing for you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like go ahead.
It's more of a, if you have two cookies, one is chocolate chip and peanut butter, and the other is cranberries, and you like both of them, but you don't like cranberries as much, you're going to order the other one. So I'm going to listen to the other song.
Okay.
I'm not going to listen to
cranberries. What the
I'm going to listen to the peanut butter.
Bro.
I never
Are
heard
you eating cranberry cookies, bro?
life.
Are you eating cranberry cookies, bro?
Is this a Pollock thing?
No, cranberry cookies are common.
You got in Hamtramck?
Common where, bro? Where is cranberry?
What, in Warsaw?
Cranberry and white chocolate.
Cranberry and white chocolate.
I mean, so like, obviously, I'm going ahead and roasting the idea of cranberry cookies here, but I would love to go ahead and give one a try.
But look at, did you see that? Have you ever seen that cookie before in your life?
I've never seen it before in my life.
This motherfucker said that bitch is common sense. That's common. That's
common
crazy.
sense. He didn't say common sense, Mike.
That's a
Put
bar.
words in my man's
Common. Common's also a rapper. Common's AKA is also common sense. So I just went to common sense on your ass. But Wazzy, you just hit us with some new shit. Do you bake, Wazzy? Do you bake?
No, I hate baking.
Yeah, me too, bro. It's just so much.
Yeah, I like cooking and I like ovens, but I hate the floury baking type stuff. It's too precise.
Man, too precise, bro. And then when you get to stirring that flour dough shit, and it's all super hard if you ain't got like one of them machines. No, thank you.
Dude, Julia really wants a stand mixer, but those hoes are like $400 or $500.
Expensive. But yeah, sorry, Wazzy. Go ahead and finish up. So overall, I don't want you to give a grade of it, but you listened to it twice.
The songs all had elements that individually I really like. It was just the execution didn't match my ear and what it wanted to hear.
Okay. I'm rolling.
So, I mean, it wasn't bad by any means. It's just, I'm not going to throw that on as I enjoyed listening to it.
Okay. Nah, I feel you.
3.5 out of 5.
For sure. That's a good rating. You know what? I think that that used to be like a big thing. And I don't know if, I'm pretty sure they did, but like The Source used to be like a big hip hop magazine that would review every album that came out, and then it would give it mics, right? So if you got a 5 mics in The Source, that means your album was fire. And that's when reviews actually led to people buying your albums and shit. People like actually relied on reviews to help them decide whether I was going to spend my $10 on your album or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I mean, you only hear one song from most albums.
Exactly. Back then, bro, it was just so damn. I miss them days. The mystique, like, damn, this I don't know, bro. But it's also like I'm relying on this one person or these two people to tell me if the album was good or not. Like, what if I don't got the same taste as you? But what I was getting to is that you said what was?
And you don't listen to them.
Yeah.
You find somebody who thinks you do like.
That's what I'm saying. But when it comes out, you relying on the magazine. You wasn't really thinking about the actual person who's like reviewing the shit, right? So I just kind of wonder, like, did y'all ever look at reviews and shit for like the albums y'all was listening to when y'all was growing up? No.
I always had some sort of access to find the rest of the album to listen to it ahead of time if I had wanted to.
Wazzy, you were born in the early days of the internet, so please tell me how you had access in the middle 80s to figure out if an album was good or not before you bought it.
It would have been...
Or early 90s?
So, yeah, probably 91, 92, maybe 93. There was like Kazaa, LimeWire, Popfile, FTP sites.
Damn, bro, I feel like I didn't get on that shit till 98. I was still a baby, though, so I was only 8 at that time, so maybe I just wasn't smart enough to even look for that shit.
Sorry, I'm trying to find what it was called. It was
damn, you saying LimeWire was around in 90, 91?
Oh, yeah, Usenet, yeah.
You said what, Jake?
Usenet.
There was also IRC channels.
Damn,
there was
torrenting back then. That's crazy. Yeah. But it didn't become a big issue till like 2000, though, y'all. So I don't know what happened. Napster really blew the box up, huh?
No, I mean, I think it's so like what Wazzy's talking about was the time when like you could do all this stuff, but there was a high bar in order to be able to actually do it, you know? So it was a much smaller minority who was doing it.
You gotta actually know how to do it and have the equipment and internet to do it.
Yeah, like Joe Schmo wasn't just like hopping around Usenet or BBS and stuff like that, you know?
I feel you.
But
that's why I love having y'all on, bro. Y'all be putting me on.
So again,
my older brothers, bro. I never had older brothers, man. It feels good to have older brothers, bro.
But with the democratization of like the internet and more people having access and stuff like that, now this little bitty problem of Wazzy going ahead and downloading the album becomes, you know, like, well, now a whole high school is downloading albums.
Right.
And stuff.
So what about you, Jake? Did you ever look at reviews?
I don't recall, but I blacked out most of my of my life. So yeah.
The best part is that whenever your mom shares a picture of y'all like as kids, I never know which one you are, Jake. You've changed so much over the last 30 years, bro. Every time she posts a picture, I'm like, which one is fucking Jake, bro? This guy is a chameleon, dog. If you ever decided to do some wild shit and then just run away, Jake, this is probably why you growing your beard, so that when you finally get your final plan, you cut that motherfucker off, dye your hair, and you Gucci, bro. You changing your name to Bob Saget, and then every time you see somebody, they're gonna be like, oh, you share the same name as Bob Saget. You be like, yeah, I know. Ha, that's funny, right? Let me through the border, bitch, and then you gone.
I had the name first.
Okay. So that's funny, bro. I used to rely heavy on reviews, even with being able to torrent and shit and download music. I still like actually cared about that stuff. So did y'all not have that for rock music, or? Well,
I mean, it was there. I would
just
listen to it, and if I didn't like it, I'd delete it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you had all sorts of different publications like Kerrang, I want to say Metal Hammer, like all sorts of different venues that were rating everything and stuff. But I don't know, like that stuff require
reading.
Well, yeah, and I ain't too good at that. But I mean, I was out on a dirt road. Like, it's not like I had access to just go to a store where like they had like magazines with reviews in them.
Right.
You know,
it is also harder to find new artists. Like I had found out Linkin Park's whole LP Underground stuff because of Blink 182, because they have a song called Carousel on Cheshire Cat. And Linkin Park also has a song unreleased called Carousel. So
And then you
like Blink
download
was
that on
part of Hell.
accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire.
So like that happened with No Effects and Simple Plan, maybe. I can't remember. There was another punk pop band that they had two songs that were named the same but different bands.
That's fire.
Dude, that was the wild days. Like
Yeah, the
I
wild.
remember going
days.
ahead and trying to download some Rammstein and accidentally downloading some KDMF and like what the hell is this that I'm listening to? I mean, it's still kraut music, but
Those some good days. Also, before we end the segment and get up out of here, I had earlier kind of said that was one of the things about hip hop with the features and stuff. Like you get a feature on your album, and then that verse might not be a verse that you personally like, and it'll kind of take a song down a peg. How often are groups like rock groups, metal groups, and stuff collabing with each other, y'all? It's like
we
never.
don't do that.
Yes.
Nowadays, a lot more frequently. I'd say in the past 4 or 5 years, a lot more frequently. But previous to that, it was usually a big event for, to have the drummer from Rush or, whatever the big thing may be, or a couple super groups.
Yeah,
Those seem to come up and go away pretty quickly too.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That it wouldn't be so much like features and that sort of thing or collabs on an album as much as it would be a super group. Because a lot of these guys are in hell like 5 different bands. You know.
I mean, Corey
That's
Taylor
another
has three
thing. I'm glad I didn't even think about. Go ahead. What you say, Waz?
Corey Taylor has 3 bands. Like he is part of 3 bands and leading 3 bands.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Talent.
No, I understand that, but is that because this band has this style, this band has this
Mm-hmm.
style, this
Yep.
band has that style? Okay.
All 3 are completely different tonality, like different cores.
And I'm asking this knowing just as a music guy, but I just want to hear what y'all say. How hard is it, do y'all think, to say let's get 2 bands together just to collab on one song? And what I'm saying is, all right, 2 lead singers, 2 guitarists, 2 drummers, 2 bassists, 2 keyboardists, right? And then so now the 2 lead singers, that's easy. Y'all both get a verse, right? You get one verse, he get a verse, and then y'all like do like melodies and harmonies on the hook. But then after that, maybe how it seemed like it could be a pretty good zipper effect of this guitarist play here, he play here, this drummer play here, y'all play together. Yeah. So tell me, that's y'all shaking y'all head no. So just talk to me now. Why not? And what's the issue?
I mean, for one, especially from like the drummer perspective, it just doesn't feel natural to me. Like, for one, like, what are you gonna be doing? Going back and forth,
No.
or are you guys gonna be playing together? Like, it just seems like real cumbersome, especially like to have an entire band crossover like that, or fusion for a song.
Well, that and just 2 different groups writing alone is you have one person who's used to writing for their entire band, and you have another person who's writing for their band. How can you write something for another band when you don't know what their guitarist is capable of or something like that? And you
Not
have
to
2
mention,
writers.
yeah, and not to mention just the 2 frontmen. Like, a band is barely big enough for a single egotistical asshole of a singer, let alone having 2 in that hoe.
Yeah, I was thinking more so of like literal space. I thought y'all was gonna bring that up. Like, how could we literally get all these people on one stage? um, but as far if we're just talking about writing and creating the music, guys, I think that y'all don't give y'all artists enough credit, because whether you know it or not, they already work with other people. For especially like lead singers, they're already working with other people to help them make some songs. Like, you can go out your way, and it couldn't be with just a random band. So let me also say that it would have to be with a band that you're already familiar with, y'all already kind of get along with, got the same views with. And I don't know if bands even have that type of relationship with each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? But it would have to be like, I like him, he like me, our bands get along, so let's sit down and let's write something together. You could always collab and write something together with somebody else, y'all. And then I'm not talking about playing at the same time neither, Jake. I'm talking about, all right, me, yo drummer, my guitarist, yo pianist, my bassist do the first verse, and then, zipper in, you, blah 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 blah, and mine's yours, do the second verse. And then you kind of figure it out after that during the bridge, who gets here, who gets there, some solos. I
It,
think it
it
I
that
don't I don't think it'll be easy, but I think somebody could pull it off. It would take two special bands though to do something like that. And it would be a hard work, but I think somebody could actually pull some shit like that off, and pull it off pretty well, but it would take a lot of work.
I think
And that's
there's
probably
just
why it don't happen ever.
well, I think it's just such a different culture,
Yeah,
like hip hop, rap, like that is the normative culture there. I mean, I do know that some rappers will have relationships with certain producers and will do like a certain amount of their work with them, but they're used to swapping people out, right?
yeah,
Whereas a band literally is a family, and it's an intense personal relationship. And I'm not saying that like rappers don't have that with producers or anything, but like it's this one thing. Like, no, this is the band,
yep.
um, and that and stuff. So one of the things that I had thought of when you were talking was on what is it? Mastodon's album Leviathan, they have a song called Blood and Thunder. And on that song, there's additional vocals done by the singer from Clutch. I've seen the two of them on tour together, and you would think that maybe Mastodon would play Blood and Thunder, and that Neil would come out and he would go ahead and do his vocals on there. It didn't happen, even though like
They just
that's
didn't
already
play
been
that song at all, or they played it and he
no,
didn't do his verse. Oh, okay.
no, they didn't play the song at all. Which like you would kind of expect that like that they would, right? Like this is
Hmm.
a unique thing for this tour. You get to see it in its fullness, um, and I
So he
saw
was
like,
on tour with them and they still never played that song?
hmm
That's crazy.
um, I've seen who is it, Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson on a tour together, and like they've done some work together, but like Manson was on stage, Manson went off stage. Zombie came on, Zombie went off,
Mhm.
sort of like that separation. And especially in that case, I mean, I don't know, Rob Zombie seems pretty cool and rather laid back, but Marilyn Manson has a huge fucking ego
Mhm.
and stuff. So that could be like a bit of a difficulty.
What you was about to say, Wazzy?
I have no idea. I was just looking up a picture of Rob Zombie. I remember a performance he had where he had like 12-foot black mechanical wings that moved as he moved, and
That's
it was nuts.
hilarious.
I could see Marilyn Manson doing a similar step piece where it's like stage wide is his costume, but
Yeah, I just as far as like when you perform it live on stage, I can see the physical aspect of it being an issue. Where you gonna put two drums, two guitars, two pianists, two bassists? on stage at some places. But if you're a mega band, you're on a stage that can definitely fit that. The hard part is going to find another band, and it's not even you. You can be the mega band, and another band that you're working with can be just like a dope, like up and coming or newer band, so that you don't really got to deal with the ego. They just happy to be up there with you and getting the shine that they got. And I don't know. I just feel like that would be something really dope that I feel like everybody in the in that industry probably think like y'all too, like this that the industry wise. When I don't know,
I mean,
maybe I should sit back and say fuck all the other bullshit, let's make it happen, and it's gonna be hard, but let's work through it and then let's perform it.
I think the biggest thing is lack of any real benefit of doubling up of all the instruments. Maybe a super creative band will have one person on traditional drums and one person on electric drums, so that you get different sounds in one you can play around with.
Yep.
I don't think it's impossible. I think most bands doing it doesn't make any sense because you don't gain anything.
I think that okay, so this is. So maybe that is the thinking that they have. So let me talk to you bands real quick and tell you what the gain is. Rappers don't, and hip hop people aren't just featuring with other people just because I want to feature with him and I like him. Jake, you my best friend. I like you. I want to make a song with you. That's not what it's about at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's let me get on a song with another band and increase my reach to other fans, guys.
Which we've already said that they do that. They'll grab in the vocalist, they'll grab in a bassist, they'll grab in a drummer. So that's already been happening for a long time.
No, I understand that. That's cool. But it's when you're doing that shit. So when you grab in another bassist, another guitarist, and another drummer or whatever, they're just playing your band's songs, right?
Not always. Youngblood wrote part of his of Obey. What's his name?
No, you
Psych.
don't. I mean, I guess what I mean is like, you pull a guitarist from, I don't know, just name a band into your band. You're not playing his band's music. You're just playing.
No, but if you're bringing Slash to another band, it's going to have Slash spin on it.
My bad.
Regardless of what they write. So
you said what? I just smacked my shit.
If they bring somebody like Slash in, it doesn't matter what they write. It's still going to have that Slash flair that he likes.
Like his sound, right?
Yeah.
But they're playing their songs, though.
So it'll still be his sound, but somebody else could have wrote the actual notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. So I think that that's something, right? Yeah, there's a dope ass. We got Slash out here. He's playing our song, but it's got the Slash sound to it. But there's something to the fact that you don't just do features just because you're doing features, guys. I don't know how else to say it. You do features because you're reaching out to other people that you wouldn't reach in other circumstances. Yeah, Slash is a good example, but that's already a mega motherfucker right there. I'm not talking about guys like that. What's up, big homie? I'm talking about my boy. How'd you get down here?
Right, but like I guess what like I would say is like that doesn't work for just anybody. Like if you go ahead and I don't know, put the bassist of Godsmack, have him doing a song like on a Slipknot song, like that's not going to bring anything unique. Like I mean, like that would bring something unique to it, but that's not going to sell me on anything. Now, if I hear Slash being featured on something, but especially if I hear a vocalist, if I hear hell, pretty much if I hear Corey Taylor on a song, now I'm interested, kind of, you know what I mean? But I don't think it just works with any old Joe Schmo. And certain instruments, it works better than others.
So, but y'all got to understand what I'm saying. I'm not talking about one motherfucker, guys. I'm
Right,
talking
but what I'm
about
saying is
two
that it's
full
not
bands, and this,
possible.
but this is
Yeah.
what it is. The fact that you both are sitting here saying it can't happen, that's going to be, it don't make sense. When somebody does do it together, Rob Zombie and Slipknot come together, they got their full bands, and the song is actually dope. That is going to make you say, "Oh, that's crazy." They brought their full band and their full band together and created something that's actually super fucking dope. And if it comes out dope, it's going to create a wave of shit that they never even thought that they could get into. But since they haven't even tapped into that type of thing yet, you'll never know what the potential is of it.
Sure,
Yeah,
but to
bringing
do
in
an
one person
entire
from a
band,
band is all you've already done that. Fuck that. I'm not talking
That was
about
your
you.
example, bringing one person in a band.
No, no,
yeah.
no. That's not what I said.
That is
What are you talking about?
your example, literally bringing one person from a band into another.
No, that's not my example. That was y'all. Y'all told me that that's what happened before, and I got the tape. I told y'all what happens if we got two singers, two drummers, two guitars, two basses, two pianists, both all on here. And I said that the main reason I can say that it's going to be an issue is because the physical aspect of them being on the stage. That's a lot of instruments to have on stage. But besides that, you on a big stage with a big joint that can hold everybody. That shit will end up being fucking dope if y'all get together.
But why go ahead and I mean, bands struggle with, especially once they're successful, they struggle with the personalities within their own band to go ahead and double that. It's so incredibly unwieldy, and then you have to rewrite songs and rethink music in such
No, no,
a
I'm just
drastic
talking about
way.
one
Your
song.
example,
I'm just talking
it was
about one song. You bring
Right.
two
your
bands
example,
together
it
to
was
make
the
one
Yes,
song.
Mike, you're
production
talking
company.
about bringing 10 people together, at the
Yeah,
very least, 10 people together for a single song
yeah.
that's supposed to be performed where? On an album?
It-
And then, like, how am I ever going to hear this? If I go to the Slipknot concert, I wanna hear this song, but I'm only hearing half of the song because 'cause they're not on tour with Zombie?
No,
Like, it's
but this
so
is exactly what people do. People come out with songs all the time together. You got Meg Thee Stallion and the Baby have 3 collaborations together. Guess what they do? They go on tour together after their albums drop, and then they can put one person performs, the other person performs, and then whoever's headlining, the person who was that didn't headline comes out and they perform their songs together, and then they go to the next city. That's what you would do. It's not a lifetime thing. It's just for that one time when y'all do it and when y'all go around the tour and go around the country and tour together.
and that happens a bit. I've seen that from recordings quite a bit. But again, that'll be a random song at the end when one of the bands is like, "Hey, we have so and so joining us because
Yeah,
Right,
they're
but
on
it's
tour."
not the entire
I'm
band.
talking about the
It's
entire band. No, I'm not talking about just one person joining.
Well, I mean, the fact that we haven't seen it probably is indicative of an inherent issue with trying to do it.
I
I
mean,
can't
I
imagine that we're the first people in the world to go ahead and
But this is why I brought the conversation up. That
Mm.
it,
I'm on the same page as you. I just want to know what the issues is. And really, I think it's what you said, Jake. It's just getting 10 people together at least that can agree on something. And you just haven't found two bands that like each other enough and have the same ideals enough to come together with something. But we've seen more than 10 people in bands come together and do shit before, man. There's whole orchestras out here and there's all type of shit out here that points you towards the fact that you can have 10 people making songs together, singing together and doing shit, dog. And I don't know. But what it comes down to is these egos, these superpowers, and which bands will be able to actually pull it off and do it. So
yeah, Tool
so,
takes
Jake, what do we have for next
no, what you was about to say about
uh
Tool?
well, I was gonna say just say like Tool takes a decade to release a single album because four guys can't decide on shit.
I'm
um
telling y'all, one day this shit gonna happen, and it's gonna create a wave to where it's gonna get annoying because there was a time when people didn't fucking collab in hip hop, and then once you start seeing, oh man, people really like when these two big artists collab. It makes you a lot of money, and these big bands are going to end up being forced to collab together to the point where we're going to get sick of that shit. Like, oh my god, here they go with this gimmick again. But whoever do it first correctly, is going to be fucking legendary. It's going to be on some Run DMC Walk This Way type of legendary shit when they do some stuff, do that shit, dog.
I mean, again, like I don't see like the added benefit of having 10 guys on stage when instead of 5 you can have 6. Have the singer of a band hop on stage, and that creates that cross pollination. I think just as much as having everyone on there.
This is what it is, Jake. The fact that we know how hard it is when you finally, if you get 2 full bands to do something together, people are going to love that just off of the gimmick in itself. Oh my God, they got both of these bands fully together. That shit's fire. And maybe it won't impress you, Jake, but there's pop charts. There's people who just like gimmicks. There's people who just like storylines. There's people who just like mainstream shit. So when you pull it off just like that, they're gonna love it alone just because of what it is. It's not just 6 people. We've seen that before. We've never seen 2 full bands come together before, and it's gonna be gimmick. Gimmick is the word, but I'm trying to think of another word for it, but I can't think of it right now.
I'm torn between 3 different albums, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet. I'm trying to come up with a tactic to go ahead and make you guys decide it for me, but there's a couple things that I'm already feeling. So
Just give us a number 1 through 3.
no, it's going to be Audio Slave's debut album, Audio
Nice.
Slave.
I 100% approve of that.
Man, listen to this already.
No.
We haven't heard anything from
Cornell.
Well, I guess, yeah, kind of sideways, but not them. Members of. Was the album just called Audio Slave?
Yeah, it was self-titled. Figure go ahead and switch it up from the Tchaikovsky.
Switch up.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've listened to that album. So I haven't listened to it in a while. I'm actually excited to listen to it again.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a minute neither, but like just looking at the track list, I already got a couple songs stuck in my head.
All right, boys. We listening to Audio Slave. This was the No Consensus Podcast.
Peace.